So we don't have no palm trees anymore. So millions of dollars were invested into nothing. Don't also forget, even the Sadak villas. I wish you guys can see the pictures of what they were calling villas. I don't know what you can call it. They were like, like the basement, your house basement. Yes, that's what they call a villa. These guys can loot and loot and loot with impunity. Very sad. Anyway, Temba Mliswa finally apologized to Chiwenga and the military. Chivhayo is facing arrest in Tanzania. Very interesting developments because of all the shenanigans that's going down there. I must also tell you that the military in Tanzania has taken their power back and said, no, we are not going to accept abuse of opposition, arrest, killings. We are not. But I'm not surprised why the woman is acting the way that she does. Do not forget that she has such an interesting relationship with Chivhayo and Emmerson Mnangagwa. Very, very sad to watch. Yeah, very sad. I wanted to remind you of what Comrade Geza said to Temba Mliswa immediately when he unleashed the issue of money that was paid. It makes sense. People thought that Geza was just trying to politic, but now it's confirmed that Temba Mliswa was given millions and millions of dollars so that he can pump money into campaign for Mnangagwa to woodwink the rural folks so they can anoint him for the 2030 mantra. It's quite very sad. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rumbi Uncensored. It's a beautiful morning. Happy Monday, everyone. Guys, please, some of you, it's your first time to come across this channel. I'll say welcome. But to those that are my regulars, I can see almost 150 people pressing the button. Good to see you guys. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. Share with others in your groups. There's been a request that my videos must be a little bit shorter. I would do exactly that because the people that are in the rural are saying they're struggling with network and also they're buying data. They want to know what's happening. So I have to be considerate, guys. Bear with me. I also want to say to those that have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Do not forget to turn on the notification button. It's a very important button because every time I drop a video, you'll be robbed right here. I think it's very important for us Zimbabweans to come together now and be able to outline the kind of a country that we deserve post-Mnangagwa era. Because the truth is that Mnangagwa is on his way out. This is what I'm going to say, guys. What's happening right now that you guys are not watching is that the real people that are fighting Chiwenga and is not Mnangagwa. It's criminals because what they know is that they're going to be heading towards prison. But take a listen to what Geza said. Very important for you guys. Listen to what Geza said. Take a listen.
Gave Temba Mliswa money so that he could call a press conference and roll out a campaign to tarnish VP Chiwenga's image. Emerson wants Temba to throw a false narrative that VP Chiwenga is plotting a coup. He has ordered Mliswa to throw everything dirty in General Chiwenga. He wants Temba to advance a narrative that General Chiwenga does not respect women. He is desperate. He thinks any of that can destroy the personal image of the general. Emerson, this is too late for you. I gave you good advice on Tuesday that you should do the right thing now to save the damage on yourself. But you have decided to add pepper to a bleeding injury. You are going to reap what you are sowing. Watch this space. To Temba, I feel sorry for you. Go ahead and roll out your smear campaign. Just remember this Nigerian adage. A person who goes to bed with an itch behind will wake up with smelly fingers. Temba, we know you are an extortionist, but this time, while as a woman, return that money back. We are going to deal with you thoroughly. For Ugandans, I have one reminder for you. Emerson does not stand out for anyone except his biological children. He has a history of damning people when put into a corner. hope we haven't all forgotten how he dubbed the provincial chairperson over the infamous Chorocho. Kundava na Julaimo. Kundava na Madiro. Madiro kage chipiri alidabwa na Emerson. Emerson akadabwa is chairman where a national relations of Zimbabwe. Mobuza wana Jonathan Moore. Iyo wanashina maza wana waliko Chorocho. Right? Mobuza wana Ngwe agani provincial chairman we Blawayo. Mujenda angarwe Martinot. Moa Bunda Iwao. Kuti Emerson anoita sei Iraqi. Some of them never recovered politically and economically. The same script is unfolding. You will dump you again. And you face the music alone. Be wise. Make the right decision now. Emerson, you and your team, you still have a few days to do the right thing. Wakobala taka kutaurira takuambira kuti kuchavane kugeda kwemeno nguva yavachoswedera. Nguva yaswedera. Fellow Zimbabweans, stay blessed and pray for your country. May God bless you.
All right, have you ever listened to your parents when they call you twice? If they call your name twice, you know you're in trouble, right? I noticed that most Zimbabweans actually don't actually see what's playing in the background. Emerson Mnangagwa understands where his power is being driven from. Okay, he understands very well. Unfortunately, criminals are going to face music. I'm talking about big time. This is not only the 4 guys that were actually called out, but these are the big 4s. When I say the big 4s, I mean the guys that are actually the top of the hierarchy of crime in the country. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going down. Big time. A lot are going down. So Idi Mnangagwa is being reminded, we told you to do the right thing, but if you fail to do the right thing, things are not going to end well for you. But here's the thing, there's meetings that are going on. I told you there was a second time again, they had another meeting. There's more meetings to come. Emerson Mnangagwa eventually going to resign and he's walking away. Temba Mliswa playing dirty games, there will be consequences. And they mean it, there will be consequences. I think it's about time Zimbabweans, we do the right thing for the country. Not all these shenanigans and the games that we are playing. The criminals, you never learn. Look, when Jonathan Moyo thought they were smart, today he's stuck in the bush. So many people thought they were very clever. And Mnangagwa is not your friend. He plays dirty game all the time. I saw Tafazwa Mugwadi in parliament. He was used, and the allegations are actually they want to replace him with someone else. That was the plan. But unfortunately, that plan will never succeed because Mnangagwa is gonna go. Okay. Now, what are you gonna do, y'all? Because you are clutching on politics all the time. Guys, I don't know how to warn you that in life, learn to stand on your own. Because people can use you. It is what it is. Especially in politics. Especially in politics. Not only that, particularly in ZANU-PF. Because they've mastered the art of playing dirty games. And the dirty games are very glaring. Look at Mr. Sengezo Shavangu. You thought he was loved. You know, gallivanting at State House. It comes at a cost. Because Mnangagwa is not your friend. He doesn't play games that way. Anyway, but also Emerson Mnangagwa is angry now that Temba Mliswa exposed his plan. Everything is out here because you know Temba said a lot. He said a lot. Alinaka said between the 2 of them, they will need 2 65-seater Makopolo buses for school errands. It's bottom of the barrel for Mnangagwa to seek support from Temba Mliswa. It is a mess. And also, rumors out there that what was shared by Mbire on, I think on Facebook, that they've been informed that Tagwire and Chivhayo mobilizing 10 buses of youth from the Midlands province to go to Mutare to boo Chiwenga as ZANU-PF Congress. These guys belong behind bars. I just don't like Tagwire. I don't know, for some reason. I hate people who deceive the church. Do your nonsense, but don't cross the line. Don't mess up with the church. You can do your shenanigans somewhere else, but using the church to play your dirty games, I don't subscribe to that. I think that is the highest form of disrespect. But Fane Marabira is out here refuting all those reports that are people saying out here. He thinks there is so much unity in ZANU-PF. They're trying, but I don't blame him. I mean, he's a spokesperson. You do everything in your power to protect the brand. The brand that is, there's no brand because the whole part was hijacked by criminals. Take a listen.
To educate the generality of Zimbabweans, succession is dealt with at Congress. We are not going to Congress. We have Congress in 2027. We are going to a conference.
Morning.
And the issue of succession is not an issue within ZANU-PF. If you look, most of the purveyors of this succession issue are known not to be members of ZANU-PF. They are known not to be within the structures of ZANU-PF. So as ZANU-PF, we will not allow a conversation to be imported into the party. We are going to conference to continue with checking up on the mandate which we received from the people in 2023. We all know that the issue is the economy. The people of Zimbabwe voted for President Mnangagwa so that he could continue taking Zimbabwe on a positive economic trajectory. And this is what we will be focused on. Resolution number 1 actually speaks to the fact that succession is not yet a conversation, because resolution number 1 speaks to the perpetuation of the current. So you cannot perpetuate the current and talk of succession at the same time. So if anything, resolution number 1 states that there is no succession conversation within ZANU-PF, because resolution number 1 speaks to the perpetuation of the current. The relationship between the president and his 2 vice presidents is a relationship of brotherhood. These are people who have been in the trenches for the independence of Zimbabwe. You know, they've faced death and they've sacrificed along others for this country to be free. So all this talk of animosity, all this talk of hatred and fighting, these are just narrow agendas by other parties trying to bring, hoping, actually not trying to, but hoping to bring alarm and despondency within our rank and file. But our party members know how communication cascades. So this is excitable news to non-members of the party, but to the members of the party coming to conference, especially our delegates, these are non-events and these are non-issues because everyone in the party knows how we communicate. And there is no such thing. So as a party, we are solid behind President Mnangagwa.
Okay, so first and foremost, Emmerson Mnangagwa never fought. He didn't participate during the liberation struggle. He was layering bricks in Zambia. His sister is on record confirming that. You know, he just came in. That's why there's chaos in Zimbabwe, because the guy didn't even know what was that about. He was just there because of dirty games with Mugabe. He was the right person to do the dirty work. So I don't subscribe to these lies that Mnangagwa faced death, etc. We all know it was a lie just to sell, this hoodwink Zimbabweans or hoodwink those that were in ZANU-PF. That's why the country is in a mess. Criminals did as they please. Now we see the children are being arrested, the kids from the University of the Midland State University, appearing in court facing charges of subverting constitutional government after allegedly distributing material opposing attempts to extend President Emmerson Mnangagwa's term beyond 2028. I don't know if that is a crime. Is that a crime? The accused Milton Muchayana, 21 years old, Anenya Shamo, 22, and Langton Muhoma, 22. These are sweethearts, the babies, the kids. You see, the Gen Z are very bold. I love these boys. I really do. We arrested in MSU, Gweru campus on August 8 and appeared before the Gweru Magistrate Court on Friday. Prosecutors alleged that the trio produced and distributed 12 flyers intended to incite public unrest against the government. The content reportedly included messages such as call for rebellion against 2030 vision, and if humanity must thrive, then individuals are compelled to outmaneuver others. The charges were filed under Section 22, subsection 2 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act for subverting constitutional government with an alternative change of incitement to commit public violence. Items seized during the investigation including 2 mobile phones. This is weird. These guys are abusive. This, I sometimes I wonder if these people are actually fathers, or do they understand how to be a father in society or a mother in society, because this is nonsensical. The kids have the right to speak their mind. What are they going to do? Because the Zimbabwe that is on the horizon, there'll be freedom of speech. Okay, freedom of speech. I'm talking about freedom of speech. Okay, what are they going to do? It's quite very sad. Anyway, moving on to Brother Temba. So finally, Temba is apologizing. He did only a 1 and 2 minutes video apologizing because remember last time he had to create all these videos saying all manner of crap, but now he is back apologizing, and he said quite a lot of things. I want you to take a listen to Temba, please.
Icho achiri mabviravira achiri kumabviravira asikupera yapisa mastreets nyaya yacho. First of all, this is a matter of national interest. No qualms with what the Vice President has brought to the table, Vice President Chiwenga, on the fight against corruption. I'm totally with him. At no point have I said those who are allegedly corrupt must not be investigated or arrested. At no point have I supported them. At no point have I supported corrupt activities. If there's anything, I've been a champion for fighting corruption in this country. What is pretty clear is that it's of national interest. It being of national interest, it has to be tackled in a proper manner so that it does not resurface. It's a serious war. Being a serious war, it is the general himself can be a champion for it. But the general can only be a champion when there are facts and there's evidence to be able to bring those to book. The issue, I will not be part of people vanotuka vakuru vanotuka leadership. Nasi mukatuka vamunangago vachiwenga vacho kana varipo mangwana muchavatukawo, kana vamhadhi varipo mangwana muchavatukawo, kana ini ndivalipo kuti muchanditukawo, chero baba vako vadata president uchavatuka. We cannot have a culture of insulting. We cannot have a culture of lying. We cannot have a culture of violence, of brutality. Inini, I long said these things, and I will never change, I will never vacillate. I am not cheap. I have no value. It's of national interest. I sacrifice myself. I sacrifice.
Anyway, he says that you cannot swear at, Zimbabweans. I also want to ask you a question because I think there's a heavy disconnect. Sorry, my bad. I don't know what they're trying to do. There are always people who are trying to do shenanigans whenever I'm live. Okay, guys, stop the nonsense now. Oh, my word. Stop it right now. I apologize, guys. I apologize. My apology. Oh, man. I'm really sorry, guys. Yeah, they are trying me again. They always try me to destroy me. Anyway, guys. So, Temba Mliswa is an interesting character. He's out here saying, no, you don't have to swear. Guys, what is really swearing? I think in Zimbabwe, what is swearing? Because if you are speaking your mind, it's not swearing. You're simply speaking your mind. Guys, we will never share the same views because we're different and we see the world very differently. Let me read what he said beyond the audio that you listened to. He said, I've raised all these issues before when your favorites were quiet. I think it's referring to Chiwenga. Still enjoying the benefits, only the ignorant will weakly argue that my blocking anyone now audit everyone who has a legitimate case from the top to bottom. Only the president has immunity. So I wanted to underline only the president has immunity because that I'll tell you more on it. When we get people throwing petrol bombs in a peaceful rural village that betrays a dangerous character whose mindset is lost to the craft of politics. After all, one cannot construct a viable political future predicated upon violence against the dissent. It is a route we resisted under President Mugabe. We shall resolutely oppose that culture should it manifest again. The Second Republic was born out of collective action involving war vets, opposition, military. No one person should reverse all those gains we have made as a nation. The current wave of public support for VP, under which some have celebrated the fire against my home, is temporary because it's largely opposition-led, orphaned by Chamisa's exit, implosion of Triple C. Many have sought for the nearest figurehead to use in opposing President ED. Thus, the VP should be worried that in his bid for whatever objective he harbors, he may end up opposing the very party he belongs to. He may become an opposition within his own party, a very untenable political posture. The support of opposition masses isn't rooted in anything with ideological permanence, but the fleeting emotions of hating ED, the frustrations of having no functional movement or party, Once they get a true opposition leader or movement, they will dump him as fast as they can. It is dangerous to employ violence as a weapon being urged on by such supporters. A real politician must know they have to gain control of party structures to win, not getting drunk on the whimsical flattery of neighboring supporters. Musafirirwa nemiridzo yenherera. President Idi allowed the opposition to flourish. What a lie. Its failure was due to internal features than any external persecution. That accommodation of contrary political voices should be celebrated and protected. We will never allow anyone to glory in the use of violence in politics. Let's argue and debate ideas, but never introduce the scourge of violence as a weapon. The spirits of this land won't permit such characters to rule this land when they transgress against the ideals of a communal well-being by introducing habits that are barbaric. The ideas of the liberation struggle sought for one man, one vote, and that should continue to be the avenue and instrument for political change. Anyone seeking public office should strive to win over voters, not exterminating rivals. As for the petrol bomb, we know who sent people, but zvakanakira ngozi inodzokera yega. Now I'm an African and you may have banned machira nechimbo zvavana sekuru vangu. That is its own repercussions. The last time someone did something of like nature, he later came and confessed on his own. Time will tell again in this instance. Nyika itongwe nekupisira vanhu misha. Izvo zvatinozviramba tiri vapenyu chero takafara. Okay, so you are saving Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is known for abduction, torture, and killings, and also burning people's houses over the years. He presided over the very same regime. So what are you saying, Temba? What are you saying? You see, we become a very selfish society. As long as I'm not being affected, I actually don't care about my neighbor, right? This is what I'm trying to destroy. A selfishness is what we need to destroy by all means. I'm here as a catalyst of nonsense, a country that is built on evil, disgusting characters, disgusting actions. People pretend to be leaders when they're absolutely diabolical individuals from the pit of hell who came to destroy such a beautiful country. I don't belong to any political party. I must put that on record. I belong to Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe is my land. And I stand to defend the rights of those who are not connected to politics. Because for a long time, we've been abused under the guise of politics. Can we at least be able to live in a normal country? I'm talking about us who don't care about political positions. Give us an opportunity to live in a normal country, because your actions are very, very dangerous. But Mr. Temba, you have no moral authority to actually be able to advise anyone, because yourself, you're one of the most disgusting human beings I've never seen. Is where the money is where your heart is, which is very sad, actually. So reactions from individuals on X. The father of violence is Emmerson Mnangagwa. Anyone doing it has learned it from the master himself. Where were you in 2008 when war vets and ZANU-PF military burned thousands of homes that belonged to MDC supporters? You said nothing. Now it's ZANU-PF versus ZANU-PF. Carry your cross. And he said a very terrible word I can never repeat. An elder said, Uri kwijga nemiseredzoro modern day nyati. And Bosana Moyo said, there's no opposition now, Temba. We are now one-part state. That's what your brother wanted when he manufactured Shavangu. We are very much part of ZANU-PF. I agree. It's a one-part state. There's no opposition yet. We are all Zimbabweans. And Darlington said, Nerelandizo zine chimuti sofa. Okay, Bruce, you haven't suffered. Don't worry. All this whining who sees, and you will crawl to general to beg for forgiveness, and you know ye aren't the type to reward your cowardice. Broad character. I'm here for the show, and that time when it comes. I think for me, the message I'm having for Chiwenga right now is to be careful of entertaining bootlickers. There are people who already think they can align with him so that they can get favors. Guys, listen, first and foremost, all these tender things are going to be cancelled, so there won't be no middleman. So if you're thinking you can get tenders, you are wrong. Did you actually hear that in Namibia, they no longer entertain tenders, and they've saved a lot of money in a short space of time? So maybe sometimes a woman president is better, because women know how to serve. The woman said, no, we no longer entertain tenders. No middlemen. Zimbabwe is going to the same route. There won't be any middleman buying direct from the manufacturer. Okay, that's what's going to be happening. So if you're thinking, I can just maybe crawl and be closer to Chiwenga, maybe I'll get favors, or I can commit crime, and so if I can dine with them, they'll protect me. In the next Zimbabwe, that won't happen. So change your character and align yourself in with goodness, not bootlicking. It doesn't cut. Anyway, Zimbabweans are focusing on criminals, not side shows. I can guarantee you. Zivu said to those who understand soldiers, let me help you. It's not the size of the dog that matters in a fight. It's the fight of the dog in that size that matters. To those who want to play with soldiers, be warned. And I must also say the same thing. Also, just they play very, smart. And, when you look at them, you think they're stupid. You think they are not watching. When Temba came out here and said that, oh, they are saluting Anakuda Tagwiri, etc. No, it's a game. These guys are very smart. They will play along. They'll play along. Don't forget what happened in 2017. But when the time is right to strike, they will strike. Without a shadow of a doubt. And you also know that the fact remains, Chiwenga is a man of few words. He doesn't talk that much. Okay, and I think soldiers in general don't really talk much. I mean, I've stayed with my aunt who's married to a military guy, and the guy wasn't talk much. He was just a quiet, he was just alone. And soldiers are naturally not people who talk a lot. Yeah. But anyway, when it rains, it pours. For Wicknel Chivhayo, he's facing arrest in Tanzania. Let me say this. In Tanzania, respect for Tanzanians, because now the military stood up and said, no, enough with abuse of citizens, abuse of opposition parties, enough with arresting of innocent citizens. I'm excited because whatever Mnangagwa was trying to play with Tanzania, remember, these games that he's playing was to say, if we can allow chaos in Tanzania, then if there can be chaos in Zimbabwe, people are just going to say, but it happens in Tanzania as well. Don't forget when Ruto came to Zimbabwe and he left with a box that was more like a small little, what do you call it? A briefcase here, the briefcase. Okay, it makes me think of my dad. My dad and briefcase, they're inseparable. Okay, so, he left with a briefcase, and this briefcase, immediately when he left Zimbabwe, there was chaos in Kenya. Anyone who don't believe that there's ritualism happening in Zimbabwe is not serious. Immediately after that box, there was chaos in Tanzania. Sorry, in Kenya. Now they're sneaking in. You have seen the pig, and I'm talking about Wicknel Chivhayo, doing all the nonsense in Tanzania. They are trying to infiltrate, causing chaos there, so that when there's chaos in Zim, they feel good about themselves. So Tanzanians are saying, nope, we are not going to allow that nonsense, and I'm supporting them. Do not allow these criminals to infiltrate your state. These guys are underworld guys. These are hardcore criminals. In Zimbabwe, they could have dealt with them, I think, in the 90s. But they allow these idiots destroy the country. That's why we're in this mess. So Tanzanians, I'm begging you, stand for what's right. So then, according to the close sources with the Tanzania Progressive Forces, Chivhayo will be arrested once he set his foot in Tanzania. The arrest will be done by Tanzanian Progressive Forces. You may deny it, but watch the space. So we are watching to see what's going to be happening, because I don't think they're crazy for reporting this. Guys, I talked to some of these Tanzanian guys, like the big boys, and they're very, very angry with Wicknel Chivhayo. They are very angry. They hate him to bits because they know that he is playing a part. Guys, dirty money and wickedness. Because these people from Zimbabwe, they would rather invest millions in Tanzania to make sure that there's instability. So that when there's chaos in Zim, they feel like, oh, you know what? It's not only us. You see this? It's not unless everyone else is struggling. So then when people talk, it's not always about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is not exposed. That's how wicked. I can't wait for a day that people are going to put a foot on top of that tummy for Wicknel Chivhayo and ask him to tell us where the money is. I can't wait river to tell us where the hell we have sent the money that belonged to the state. I can't wait for that day because the day is coming. And it is coming. Wait, watch and learn. It is coming. Criminals will not evade arrest and they will be paying for their sins. And I've been thinking about that flamboyant wedding that Bomatanga did for his daughter in Cape Town. With the hard-earned money. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening when the children are back and forth to prison because your father has been locked up, has been stealing from the state. And I must say, your wives, Women who are married to most of these ministers in Zimbabwe, watch and learn, because the next future you're going to be moving back and forth to prison to watch your husbands dying for life in prison because you watched when they were stealing money that belonged to the people while our people are starving daily. I'm just saying, it's your responsibility to protect the legacy of your children. Do the right thing and stop your husbands from stealing. Because you think it's just the fancy life you are living. No, it comes at a cost. And the cost will be very heavy. Some people were discussing about the legacy of Mugabe. And even people were angry online when they saw his son, wearing the remand prison gear. And they were like, what about you building your father's legacy? I'm like, cheers. You do not build a legacy with people's tears. I feel sad. Do you know that there are so many people in ZANU-PF today who have stolen money, okay? And they think that they're going to do something fancy with it. Let me tell you this, that money will turn to a curse. Your children are going to pay for it. I don't care what you're saying. I'm saying this. In the next, I know that I'm going to be here, maybe to 100 years, I'll be here, Galavani dining. In the next 15, 20 years, I'll remind you that I've warned you. This is what I spoke about. They're thinking they're becoming rich. You don't become rich by stealing. You become rich by work. The principle of life is that you put the work and then you get rewarded for your hard work. But if you believe in taking, you already broken a principle. So taking on its own, it will work against you. Because the way God created us, He gave us purpose. Each and every one of us, we need to contribute something and get something out. So you guys, the worst part is you are stealing just to give your children money. And yet they've driven all cars in the world. They flew all planes in the world. You have bought houses out of the country, like in Dubai, Mauritius, America, etc. Your kids have seen it all. Now the question they have is, what's next? So what's next is answering the reason why in this world, why you're here, what are you supposed to be doing, where are you going? So they can't answer all these questions because what you did is you broken all the principles. You just gave them money. And today, they take that money and begin to take hard drugs because they've got so many questions they cannot answer because you are dumb enough not to see that you get your salary. You train your children to work. Billionaires understand the principle. Ask Trump will tell you that he would fly his kids in economy, but he could afford, he could afford to pay for first class. But you say his kids, go back, because I want you to learn the principle of life. But not in Zimbabwe. You always think that you can dish money to kids. You do not do that. That's not building generational wealth. So if you think you're going to be wealthy, forget it. Your kids are going to pay a price. Your grandchildren will curse you. I swear, there will be a time that Mnangagwa's grandchildren said, don't call me Mnangagwa, I don't know this man. I don't know this man. Because things are going to blow up for them. Zimbabweans will hate them for life. Imagine your grandchild not being able to say, oh, I'm so proud. My grandfather wasn't a big man, but I'm so proud to say I would want to keep my grandfather's legacy forward. I was thinking about it 2 days ago. I was like, I wish I could, my brother's son, if he can have another son, we're going to give him my grandfather's name. Because I think it's my responsibility to propel my grandfather's legacy. You understand? So generations to come will understand. But your grandchildren will not even want to mention your name because you sow evil seeds. They will curse the day you were born. I don't even know how to say this. Guys, stop stealing money that belongs to the state. Father, stop this one nonsense you're doing. Allow this country to function properly like other countries. So to the bootlickers who think, oh, maybe I can align myself with Chiwenga so that I can get favors, forget it. There won't be no favors anyway. Go to work. Go to work. Find your purpose of why you're here. And begin to champion it, because whatever you think is going to, there will never be in the Zimbabwe that is coming. All these shenanigans of stealing or give us tender. There won't be no tender. We buy direct from the manufacturer. You understand? So, brothers and sisters, Teach yourself the right thing. Teach yourself hard work. This whole culture of taking with impunity, it comes at a cost. And surely you pay. Guys, my heart breaks when I just see poverty. I hate poverty with everything that is within me. I hate it. But you know what is more painful? Is generational poverty. That we captivated intentionally so. I'm saying we because I am part of Zimbabwean society, even though I did not do it myself, but I have to include myself in this mess. So at least we are able to confront it. We created generational poverty. It's sad. That's why I'm saying your grandchildren will curse you. But I didn't know this man. No, I didn't know this man. They can't even be boldly stand up and say, this is what my grandfather has built, and this is what I have done with my... So to ask you questions why Mugabe's children are going to prison back and forth, being accused of being pawn stores, taking drug addicts, etc. Don't be surprised. He could have spent his time raising his kids, but he was busy fighting for an illusion. What did he come out with? Nothing. You guys are fighting for an illusion. You do not own time. You do not own life. You do not own success. You're fighting for illusions. Money comes and money goes. But your legacy lives forever. Spending time with your children at home, cooking a meal, working together. Guys, that is what life is about. It's not about just fighting every time you're fighting. You're doing all manner of garbage. In 2025, I plead and implore you to change your ways and bring back the dignity that Zimbabwe had then. Instead of focusing on clearing the mess in Harare, you're just fighting. I saw the latest bridge in China, actually, that they actually commissioned the most beautiful bridge ever in China. And I said to myself, you see, Chinese are coming to Zim. They're taking billions and billions. You had $7.1 trillion. They take trillions of dollars to build their country. What do? You are allowing them to destroy your own country. Tomorrow, there will be nothing left. You guys can do better. Put a stop to the garbage of Mnangagwa. Even Mnangagwa needs to be sent packing. Like Mnangagwa, I genuinely believe this guy has always been a tool of the oppressor to make sure that he bleeds us to death. And that's exactly what he's done. The guy has no plan for the young people. And I can think about sweet children, the kids. I had a conversation with some of the war veterans and I began to cry. I said, I'm looking at, we've got a small 5-year-old at our house. A small little angel, my baby, a 5-year-old. And when we took him to the crèche, I remember, because, we're trying to speak Shona a lot with our children, so at least they're able to pick up the language. Because if they don't, they can pick up local languages, be it Zulu, Xhosa, Pedi, whatever you call it. So we're trying a lot to speak Shona, we're pumping Shona. But when he went to the crèche, I remember the teacher said, we're actually going to change his accent. Meaning, if he has to speak English, he has to speak in an English accent. So they are very intentional on teaching these kids. Today, you have ruined lives of so many children. If the diaspora kids, return to Zimbabwe, I can guarantee you this, there will be a huge gap. Because you spend your time destroying the lives of the kids, babies, drugging them, give them mafaro, all manner of satanic, diabolical actions. Those kids don't need mafaro. Those kids must go to school. Those kids should be pumped up in libraries reading books. But it's din. You need to stop. Give children what they deserve. Mafaro is not for a kid. It's shameful. Bring back the dignity of Zimbabwean people. Give these children a life. Allow them to be babies. Remove Mnangagwa, please. This is a waste of time. If I had the powers, I could have removed a long time ago. I was not going to waste. In fact, we need to have a country where any person who fails to deliver, it doesn't matter is whoever, must be removed immediately. Let's have that culture. You cannot deliver, send your bags. Pack, because we are not here to make you happy. We are here to protect the legacy of a country. It's the country that dies while we entertain shenanigans. All right, guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm going to end right here. Be nice when you comment, okay? I want to thank you because you've been very gracious. Some people can be rude, but anyway, you guys have been really good. Tell me what you think in the comment section, please, guys. Don't forget to thumbs up a video and share with others in your groups. We need every Zimbabwean to come to party. By the way, okay, before I go, I want to remind you that there are Zimbabweans who actually are sending me some documentation. They think there are people in the background who are working on the plan that they need for Zimbabwe too, that has to be executed. These Zimbabweans mean business, and the Zimbabweans are working with the entire continent. They are not playing games. They said, we're tired of nonsense. We want this country to work. So we are busy working on my website so that we can place all that information on my website. So I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.